If you haven't heard by now, Adrian Wojnarowski just dropped an hour or so ago that James Harden was not in practice today, but he is on his way to Colorado to join the Philadelphia 76ers at training camp as soon as tomorrow. So James played this game for all summer long. He said he's not playing. He said Daryl Morey's a liar. He said he's never playing for Daryl Morey. One day he missed. He missed one day. The NBA hit his pockets with a fine. He'll be fined for not being there today, the second day. And that's all it took. James Harden tucked his tail between his legs. He said, fine, if you're going to come from my pockets, if it's going to cost me millions of dollars, I will be there. Another report is that the Sixers have been in contact with the Los Angeles Clippers about a James Harden trade. Still, the Clippers are willing to see this through and let it play out, which could become ugly or circus-like, somebody was quoted as saying. Basically, the LA Clippers feel like they are in complete control of this. They feel like they have all of the leverage here. They probably would like James Harden on their team at this point. Again, one of the main reasons for that is that, you know, they could get James on that player option that expires. They got Kawhi and Paul George expiring. If all three of these guys get them to the NBA Finals or a championship ring, they're cool with that. If it doesn't, they can literally let go of all three of them and rebuild and have massive amounts of cap space, which is another main reason they want to keep all of their young assets like Terrence Mann, and they don't want to give up first-round picks, etc. The Clippers think they can get James Harden basically for nothing because Daryl Morey eventually is going to have to trade him there because the Clippers are the only team that has shown interest in trading for James Harden at all, and it's the team that he still is determined to get to. So the Clippers feel like they are in charge here, and trade talks have gone nowhere. They're basically still unwilling to give up much of anything because they are convinced that Daryl's going to have to trade James there anyway. Here is Nick Nurse on whether or not James Harden or the James Harden situation has been a distraction. Shout out to Keith Pompey.
New coach at a new team, you want to implement something. Yeah. But then I know you said you go about it like if James is here, you do something. If he's not here, you do something else. But is it kind of like a little bit of a distraction for you, trying to focus on?
Yeah, I don't think it's been much of a distraction at all so far. I mean, first of all, like thankful it's my second chance at like starting with a new team, right? There's a lot of things doing to get the staff up to speed, getting just everybody around the building, you know, kind of beating to the same drum, right? So there's so much work to do in that. I just say that, you know, every now and then there's conversations about it that probably take up a few minutes a day. You know, that's it so far. So it hasn't been too bad. And again, I think the players have done a great job of focusing on what we're doing, and they're trying to, you know, learn some of the new thoughts and philosophies that we're trying to implement, and they're trying to do them. So that's all we can do.
Yeah, because at first, because I was thinking, like, you know, when you get the job, you go to summer league, you have like a coaches meeting. You devise your game plan. You know exactly what's going on. And, you know, with this, it's just delayed a little bit. You know what I mean? As far as the finality to it.
Yeah, I think again, it's I think you got to be pretty fluid anyway, especially in this day and age. I mean, more so than ever. Like, I mean, I think college football is the best example. You know, you say, give me 5 years and I'll build a program. Well, now, you know, like, you better just start doing it, right? Right? So, and I think it's a similar, like, you know, guys come, guys go. James was a free agent when I interviewed for the job, or when I took the job as well. So again, we didn't know all that. And again, like, we've worked very hard thinking about this team the way it is now. And I think, again, we'll if that changes in any way, whether it's with James or with other guys coming in, we'll make the adjustments hopefully as need be.
Thank you.
I like the way Nick Nurse handled this. I like the way he's answering the questions. I don't feel like he's trying to avoid questions, by the way. I like that about him. I think he's trying to be very honest. He knows Keith is prying right here to try to get him to say something juicy. He's not going to say something juicy. But I felt like Nick was pretty honest about it. And I think Nick Nurse is handling the situation well. I think he's keeping a positive attitude. I think he's looking at it like, look, I'm the coach of the team. I'm going to go out there and coach whoever's ready to play. I like that he said James was a free agent when I signed on for the job. I could read between the lines a little bit there and say, like, I took the job thinking James was gone. You know, I took the job thinking we were going to preach ball sharing and ball movement and catching and shooting and moving without the ball. So it kind of said, I didn't expect James to be here anyway. That's kind of what he said right there. Yeah, I think he's handling it well, and I think the Sixers are handling it well. It's not as weird as the Ben Simmons situation. It's not as kind of toxic. I loved when Joel, during the Ben Simmons situation, said, man, I ain't worried about that, man. You know what I mean? So there's not as much animosity. There's not really animosity, it doesn't seem like, between players. Everybody knows it's James versus Daryl. It is what it is. Here's Tyrese Maxey on the situation.
I mean, today, we just came in and practice. So, we did that. And if he comes in, that'd be great, I love James, like I said earlier, or 2 days. That was yesterday? Jesus Christ. So that was yesterday. Man, so I'm running on Eastern time. But, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. As a brotherhood, we'll love to see him. And right now we have to focus on practice today. So it was great.
He also said this about practice with Nick Nurse. He said, he's very intense. We're moving. There's no breaks. And he said that's good for us. We're going to be in really great shape. So they're in high altitude. Nick Nurse is, first of all, concentrating on these players being in great shape. We've seen for several seasons now this team be the worst transition team in the league, one of the worst rebounding teams in the league, get flat out hustled on the glass, just out hustled in third and fourth quarters in crucial games. They've been flat out of shape. They've had an easy time with Doc Rivers. Players made jokes about it. George Niang was on JJ Redick's podcast talking about how easy Doc Rivers' practices are. Everybody was overweight and drinking and partying, and like, come on, man. It's time to get serious. I think you got a coach now that's serious, that understands, or that cares a little bit more. Like I said, Doc had one foot out the door. He didn't give a shit. Nick Nurse seems like listen, we're going to Colorado. We're going to practice at high altitude. We're going to be one of the best conditioned teams in the league. If you're not ready for it, don't even show up. We're not going to get beat in transition like you did last year. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. So I'm excited for that. I'm interested to see how James Harden fits in that equation, because James Harden is not in shape, does not care, doesn't want to care, it's good. A coach that's trying to get a team into the best shape they could possibly be, and a player who doesn't want to be there, who has a history of not being in shape and purposely not being in shape, I don't know what to expect. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay tuned for the live, 12 noon tomorrow. You know what it is. Run It Back Philly. Hit the like button, subscribe. Give me all your thoughts in the comments. I'm going to eat tacos.